Hello and welcome to Pisces Moon Astrology. I'm your astrologer, Kate Leonard, and I'm excited to explore the stars with you. Hello and welcome to the week of May 4th through May 10th. This is a week of inspired ideas and powerful love. And a lot of other things as well. But what I'm going to be looking at is on May 5th, we've got Mercury. That's our minds, thoughts, ideas, communication, all the stuff, forming a sextile with expansive, lucky Jupiter. And then the very next day, on May 6th, we've got Venus, goddess of love. I don't have to tell you that, sextiling the retrograding Pluto. So it's a whole lot of transformation and power and inspiration and growth. And yeah, that sounds great, right? It's about time. Before I get into all of the little details, this is a big week. Before I get into all the big details, are you over on Substack? Because if you're not, why not? It's totally free and you get my weekly column over there. The good thing about doing that is it's the easiest way to actually talk to me in the comments and all of that. So go on over. And I am still collaborating with Jackie Tempera, who does horoscopes. I don't know how to make that sound so that you get it, that it's the W-H-O-R-E, horoscopes. Anyway, she does that over there. We're doing that in a collaboration. And yeah, you can find her on Substack as well. All right, so now let's talk about the week. Thank you for being here, by the way. I never say that up front, and I just want you to know, yeah, thank you for being here. Before I get into the two sextiles this week, just to let you know, we're going to have Pluto stationing retrograde in Aquarius on May 4th. So that's going to have to do with a lot of do-overs since Pluto's entered Aquarius. So kind of think about what kind of power issues have been going on, because you're going to probably be rethinking them in some way. But on the 4th, just know that when a planet stations, either retrograde or direct, it's like it is holding still. Of course, all of these are optical illusions, right? But nevertheless, it appears to us that it is holding still in the sky. While it's doing that, it is laser beaming us, right? It's not moving. It's not like a fluid energy. It's just pounding us right there. So if you have any planets in those early degrees of Aquarius, you may be feeling a lot of Pluto stuff this week. Just saying. Then on the 10th, we've got Mercury moving into Taurus. It's an interesting placement. Mercury is about our thoughts, our communication, all of that kind of stuff, and our plans, right? Making plans. Taurus is about comfort and security. So making plans to find more comfort in our lives, in our experiences, and also new ideas about security, keeping ourselves safe, those kinds of things. Interesting to consider that in the current political climate, right? Anyway, that's all I got to say about that, but it is going to be a big, big time for Taurus ideas. So if you've got your charts out, you know you want to see where these aspects are hitting you in your natal chart. We're going to be focused on Aries, Gemini, and Aquarius. So identify those in your natal chart because that's where you're going to be most directly impacted. So before we even get into the actual planets, let me remind everybody about what sextiles are. They are angles of opportunity. They're positive. They are absolutely positive. But they don't just bring the positivity. They don't just like, boom, here's your blessing, right? They're angles of opportunity. So a positive thing, some kind of positive energy is going to be presented, and you can take it or leave it. If you take it, it will be good. If you reject it or just let it go by, I don't mean I reject you. I just mean if you let it go by, if it's not what you're into this week or whatever, no harm, no foul. It's not like if you don't accept it, there's any kind of negativity. Nope. You just don't get whatever gift it might be offering. Okay. So be looking for the energy. And it's my advice to seize it when it comes your way because it will turn out well. All right, so let's start with, I love this one a lot. On May 5th, we've got that sextile between Mercury, and again, that's our thoughts, our ideas, communication. But Mercury is also a lot to do with business transactions, signing contracts. All of that is connected to Mercury as well. And then Jupiter, we all know what Jupiter is. It is the greater benefic. It's about expansion. It's about big visions, right? It's about inspiration. It's spirituality. Remember, Jupiter is the original and true ruler of Pisces. It's the most blessed planet. It's good luck. It's the guru. So it's a certain kind of wisdom as well, right? So let's talk about what could be coming up when we put these two planets together. Mercury is in Aries. So the ideas we're talking about here, these are my ideas, right? Each of us, not mine, yours. You get what I'm saying? These are our ideas. These are thoughts that maybe we've had that we felt like, oh, that'll never work. Nobody will buy into this. Or I've got this business idea that, it's kind of a long shot. Or writers, you writers out there, Mercury is your planet. So, I wanted to write this thing, but it's too experimental. It's too big. It's too outlandish. Whatever it is, they're authentic ideas to us that maybe are so uniquely ours or so kind of outside our norm that we haven't had the courage to launch them. Mercury in Aries says, oh yeah, bring it. I got this. This is my idea and I will stand up for it, right? Because Aries is a Mars ruled sign. It's a warrior. It's the me, me, me sign, right? So we've got these ideas. They're our ideas, uniquely ours, and we've got the courage to stand up for them. Then we get Jupiter in Gemini in this sextile. So I already said Jupiter is good luck, inspiration, almost like we're channeling the universe. It's like really bringing this other dimension to these thoughts, ideas, whatever it is that we're working with. Gemini is social. Gemini is about let's communicate these things. Do you see how great this is? Mercury rules Gemini. So it's super blessed. Mercury is the host. And so he's giving all his blessings in that direction because that's his home sign. And it's about communication. Gemini is the social butterfly sign. It wants to go out there and take this show on the road and talk to people and market whatever it is, right? So this is like our unique ideas that we're finally willing to go to bat for, being blessed by Jupiter, and we're being asked to communicate them. So it's like, I was too scared to tell anyone. Now Aries is giving me the strength and Gemini is just giving me that energy of like social connectedness. I'm going to talk to my agent, my boss, my friend, my lover, my mother, whatever it is, whatever this is all about for you, depending on what houses are impacted. Now, we're going to all get this in a general way. So if you don't get the house system and you're like, what though? It's okay. Go read Substack more. You'll get there. You'll get there. But we'll get this in a general way. You'll know it when you see it. This is not subtle because Aries is involved. And you'll see this opportunity where this idea I have, that person who is the right person for me to tell it to, just walked in the door, right? Just came up in my social media feed. Gemini loves the internet and especially social media. Whoever that important person is that can give us kind of a leg up, or by partnering with them, we can really launch this thing. Now, again, this is an opportunity that will arise. You do not have to take it. but I think you will because Aries is going to embolden you and Jupiter is going to bless you. I love this so much. I love this so much. And I would love it a lot if after whatever this thing is, you go tell me about it in the comments in Substack so I know what's going on for all of you. I love hearing your stories. But anyway, oh, and just because this Venus is what I'm going to talk about next. But just because this isn't about relationship or love based on the planets, if you have Aries or Gemini as your seventh house sign, that is relationships. So just because these planets aren't directly connected to relationship doesn't mean you're not going to be asserting your ideas about how you want to see your relationship or how you want to experience it, or travel plans you have that you'd like to share with your partner, because that could come up if it's hitting you in your seventh house. Does that make sense? For most of us, this is not a relationship thing, but May 6th, it's all about relationships because that's where we get Venus also in Aries, okay? So we've got Mercury and Venus both making sextiles from Aries, empowered, going for what I want, putting myself first. Both of these sextiles are coming from that sign, okay? So May 6th, we've got Venus in Aries sextiling Pluto, who has just turned retrograde in Aquarius. Okay, now don't get scared about it being Pluto, the god of the underworld, right? You know, the one who did you know what with Persephone. Pluto is also about power and deep transformation. And here's the thing, this is a sextile, not an opposition. We've just come through that Mars Pluto opposition. That is a fight, right? That is a fight. This is not a fight. Pluto is not opposing us. So it's good to have powerful figures on your side. This is a whole different ballgame with Pluto. So this power, this deep transformation, he's offering it to us as support. It's not about taking us down, right? It's not about grabbing us and dragging us to the underworld. This is super good. I'm kind of loving it. So let's start with Venus, though, because this is a really, really interesting Venus. She is moving direct, but she's not out of her retrograde shadow. Remember that retrograde? She went into the pre-shadow phase in January. So we're still there. She's not done. I will let you know she's out of retrograde shadow next week. So hold on. We are almost through this thing, which will be a really good idea because it's been all that back and forth stuff, right? Anywho, we're still in it. She's making her third pass over these degrees of Aries. Grab your calendars or your diaries or wherever you keep track of what's going on in your life. She went through these degrees first. So this was her first direct pass on February 9th and 10th. You may have to adjust that for your time zone, but right around then, February 9th and 10th. Then she went through and she retrograded back on March 21st, 22nd. Again, adjust for your time zone. What was going on for you then? Because now she's there again, right? So there's going to be some finality to whatever was going on during those other two passes, because this is her last time over these degrees. All right. Only you know what's going on there. Look to your Aries house. It had something to do with that house. Now we're going to complete that story. And we're getting this leg up, this support from Pluto, who's over in Aquarius. And remember, not only are we kind of getting the do-over vibe because of Venus being in her third pass, but Pluto's also in retrograde. So there's something also where we may find that we had some conflict with someone, a power figure, somebody who was in authority or whatever. And now we're going to get that do-over because Pluto also is retrograding, and he's thinking, or not also retrograding, Venus is not retrograding. She's going direct, but in shadow. Pluto is retrograding. So he's getting that, like, wait, let me rethink how that all turned out. Do you get what I'm saying? It's complicated, but it's pretty unified as well, where there's a big old do-over or completion kind of energy to this. All right. And I mean, we know what Venus is about, but remember that it's not only love. She's all relationships. So that's friendships, relationships with family members, especially sisters, because Venus rules both relationships and sisters. She's very, very connected to the mother as well, especially if you were born at night. But she's also beauty, she's luxury, she's comfort, and she's art. Now, I mentioned earlier about Mercury being the planet of writers, but if you are a creative writer, Venus is also for you. So Mercury is all kinds of writing. Venus is art. So all of you visual artists, creative writers, actors, singers, musicians, she's your girl. So she rules a lot of things, but they all have to do with ease. Venus rules Libra, remember, bringing elements together, bringing people together, smoothing out situations, right? And she rules Taurus, and Taurus is all about that fixed earth sign of the bull. Taurus is all about comfort and stability and that kind of thing. So that's Venus. We all know Venus. And actually, we all know Pluto as well, god of the underworld. He is power. He's big power, right? But he's also deep transformation. And that connects to the Persephone myth, where he brings Persephone into the underworld, but then she gets to come back, bringing springtime to the planet. So it's that bringing things from deep inside into the light so that they can bloom and blossom. Think about your relationship. Think about your art project. Venus has a lot to do with money too, especially money that's sort of extra money that has to do with comfort and luxury and that kind of stuff. So bringing it into the light, there's something very expansive, and we're bringing these Venusian elements into the light so that they can bloom and flower and become more. Again, let's not lose track of Aries. This has a lot to do with making our demands that have to do with our authentic needs. You are going to express yourself. If it's relationship, and for a lot of us, the Venus one, I know is going to be about relationship. This is about you standing in your power. But remember, Pluto's not fighting you this time, he's supporting you. So this is about you saying, I want this relationship with you, my lover, my mother, my sister, my friend, my child, whoever it is. I need XYZ from this relationship, and we will have that support. And then we get to the transformative power of Pluto, right? Not only will we be supported in getting our needs met because we're expressing our needs, Aries, right? We are going to be deeply transformed. And that relationship is going to be deeply transformed, right? Because that's Pluto when he's good. We're going to bring this out into the light, and it's going to flower. Our art, our relationships, our money, whatever it is. But we ourselves are going to be deeply transformed from the act of asking for what we want. of standing in our own power and expressing our authentic voices. This is an amazing week, everyone, and I love it that there's something that is both super powerful about it, Aries, Pluto, all that stuff, but it's also gentle. These are opportunities. These are opportunities that we can take or leave. And I love that's a certain kind of power in its own right. We can just say, like, yeah, I have the opportunity to make new art and I just don't want to. Hey, you do you. I have the opportunity to transform this relationship and now I don't choose to do that this week. That's okay. If you don't want to, you don't have to, because it's that kind of week and you will not be penalized for it. I hope all of that makes sense. Next week, Venus comes out of her retrograde shadow and it's all systems go. So that's a good thing. And that's part of what we're leading up to with this Venus sextile this week. Anywho, that's all I got for this week. Thank you so much. I ask that you please share the podcast. That would be the greatest gift you could give me. And if you'd like to book a reading to better understand your own chart, if you click down below somewhere in the show notes, you'll find a way to do that. So thank you. That's all I've got to say. So until next week, go out and seize the energies of the stars. This is my wish for you always, and I know you will this week. Anyway, until then, bye.